Hello everyone, and welcome to the August Port St. Lucie airport update. We have kind of hit the summer slump here, and I wouldn't say it's in full effect, but it's in like 3/4 effect, as we haven't really had anything new since that American's addition to LaGuardia, which was in last updates, I believe. Or maybe it was 2 updates ago. I'm not quite sure. I think it was 2 updates ago. American's new service. What's the last one? I don't remember. It was one of the recent Port St. Lucie airport updates that American added the LaGuardia service, but since then there's not really been anything too new here, unfortunately. But we do have our mostly continuing strong here. We'll get started here in the American Airlines section here. As you may notice, the American Eagle CRJ 700 on the left of your screen is not parked in the normal American gate, which is gate 2. It's parked in gate 4, which is Allegiance gate. That is what happens here for American when they get their overnights here, and we'll get into those in a second. One of the aircraft parks at their normal gate, and one of them parks at gate 4, which is Allegiance gate. But that's just kind of how they run with it here. And Allegiant is okay with them using their gate at night. But we will get the update started here. At gate 2, we have this American Eagle UN-75 operated by Envoy Air, and this one arrived in about an hour ago from DFW, and it's just staying overnight here, and we'll be heading back out there in the morning. So that is our one daily DFW service here at Port St. Lucie, just the overnight. And that used to be an evening flight, but now it has since changed to the overnight. So that is what we're seeing here at gate 2, and that arrives in around 10 p.m. and departs at around 9:30 a.m. So that's pretty much all there is to it for that American Eagle UN-75. And then on the left we have the CRJ 700. This one's operated by PSA Airlines, and this one just arrived in. Just pulled into the gate and getting the bags loaded off, and people are deboarding after it arrived in from Charlotte Douglas. And this will also be doing the same thing, staying overnight and then heading out to Charlotte Douglas in the morning. So that's what American does. They have these 2 overnights here. So, I forgot to mention the time frame. As you can probably tell, this is another night airport update, so I've been doing a lot of these lately. It's just because the times that I've been wanting to do these airport updates have kind of all been at night recently. But it is around 11:15 p.m. So I'm using my phone light here just to make it so you can see the aircraft. So I don't know if it's really giving a night vibe. You can tell I turned all the normal lights off. It's just my phone light here that's just lighting up the aircraft so you can see it. We have all the flights in this airport update are going to be overnights, with an exception of one maybe. You shouldn't say that they're all overnights, but we'll get to that in a second here. But so all these are the 2 American overnights, and they're just going to be staying here. So American has not really done much new since the last airport update. They added the LaGuardia service, the once daily LaGuardia. They have their twice daily Washington DCA service, which unfortunately might be downgrading to only once daily. But they might replace that one Washington DCA flight that's going to get downgraded with a Philadelphia service, because now that I do have the CRJ 700 model, now I can do a semi-realistic Philadelphia service. So we're trying to work with American, and maybe they'll start service to Philadelphia on the CRJ 700 for PSA Airlines. American quite strong here in the southeastern United States market, mostly with their hub in Miami, but we're too close in Miami here in Port St. Lucie to have Miami flights. As in real life, I'm going to go out of our fantasy world here. In real life, I'm guessing most of the people who live in Port St. Lucie, which is actually kind of a big city, I'm guessing most of them just go to West Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale or Miami. But I would say it's far enough to have its own airport, and that's why we're representing it here at this. Now back to the fictional world. We are actually pulling some passengers from West Palm Beach, so that's pretty good, and it's also boosting our expansion here, as Port St. Lucie has a population of almost 200,000, So a lot of those people are now using this new airport and not going to the Miami airports, which is really helping out traffic here and really making a lot of airlines move here and doing multiple routes. So really good to see. Not too many frequencies on a ton of them. This Charlotte is thrice daily, and that's Americans. One of Americans' two more than once daily routes is, but VCA that's going to get downgraded to once daily. So this will be Americans only multiple flights, and this is thrice daily. They have this one that stays overnight, and they have one in the later morning and then one in the afternoon. And that's just kind of how American runs here, but glad to see these two for American. I now have realized I just spent like 6 minutes on this American section, so we'll move on to elsewhere in the airport. So now we move on to gate 6 here, and yeah, as you can see there, looks like they're doing some maintenance on the jet bridge, and we have these very oversized cones here. So they're working on that. Hopefully they'll probably get it fixed before morning, so I guess there's no Frontier flight on Friday. Frontier has their twice weekly flights to Trenton, and that's still moving along here. Maybe in the future we'll see Denver, but for now it's just the 2 Trenton flights. And like I said, it's kind of the summer slump, so none of these airlines are really itching to expand very much right at the moment, but hopefully come fall there'll be more expansions here to Port St. Lucie, and that's stuff I'm really excited about. One of those will be Southwest, and you can see the aircraft in the back there. So Southwest currently has 2 flights to Baltimore and then 1 to Chicago Midway. And unfortunately, Southwest will be cutting one of those Baltimore flights, and that's this one that's represented here. The evening Baltimore flight will be cut. So it'll just be the morning one, the morning Baltimore flight, and then an afternoon Chicago Midway flight, and then the last flight of the day will be to Nashville. So Southwest will be adding Nashville service here to Port St. Lucie, and that will be the evening Southwest flight. So we're not, there are no frequencies being lost here for Southwest. It's just a different route there. So cool to see that for Southwest, and I'm glad that they are expanding to Nashville here, and that will be in a month. But this is the Baltimore flight, the evening Baltimore flight, and also unfortunately, just recently this model broke its antenna, and yeah, there's no way I'm finding that. It's not in the display case this time either. So another 737 antenna has to bite the dust here. And now, yeah, that one, it was kind of bent anyways. It was on its way out. So now it is gone, and I don't think there's any way I'm finding it in my carpeted floor. And hopefully that'll be avoided in the future, because we do have plans to remove the carpeting in the basement down here. So hopefully that will not be as big of an issue in the future, losing parts of the airplanes, because I can just find them in the carpet. But for now, that one and forever probably that will just have a missing antenna. So unfortunately, the bigger issue is that it has also a paint chip up there. This plane is all chipped up because engine didn't really do a good job, and one of the wings broke off. There's a massive paint chip on the bottom because one of the wings broke off, and all that the antenna broke off. That took a giant paint chip with it as well. So yeah, it's a beautiful model, but it's not the greatest performance by NG. One of my favorite models, but also probably my most broken from the manufacturer model. I've broken some models way more, unfortunately. But anyways, what I was getting to here, this one came in from Baltimore, and it should have headed back out to Baltimore about 2 hours ago, really. But they had some engine issues. They actually pushed back the aircraft on time for an on-time departure, but they taxied around a bit and realized that they had an issue with one of the engines, so they brought it back to the gate here, and they were working on that for a while. And since it's now like 11:15, we're wondering if that flight's going to get canceled here, because you can see the pushback tug it's ready to push it back, and they're it sounds like they're pretty much finished with the engine, but it's just so late at night that they might just cancel the flight. So an unfortunate turn of events there, and or they'll just delay it till the morning, and that's some of the most annoying delays. So unfortunately, for the Southwest aircraft, it just kind of stuck here at its gate 8. We'll see what happens with that going forward. And making its first appearance in one of these PSL airport updates, we have Delta Mainline with the 737-900. This was always around, just couldn't show it. This is the only Delta Mainline flight, and it's been here since the opening of the airport, the 737-900 from Atlanta. So this is the evening Atlanta flight, and it stays overnight, and it heads out in the morning. Like I said, all these, except for the Southwest, are overnights. So cool to see the Delta Mainline in here. Glad that they're doing it for at least this evening flight, and hopefully they'll move that over to some of the other ones. Maybe the morning flight or the afternoon, or I guess it's more evening flight for the Delta. Their second of the day to Atlanta, or from Atlanta. And this is the final one. This one just arrived in and is taxiing in to its gate after arriving in from Atlanta. And we actually have some of the service vehicles here ready to service that aircraft once it pulls into its gate. Delta, nothing really. They've pretty much done nothing changed since the opening of the airport, as their only hub down here is Atlanta, and New York seems pretty covered with United service to Newark and then American to LaGuardia. So maybe Delta will add service to JFK. I don't know. But Delta's kind of caught in their one airport here. Maybe in the future we'll see expansion to JFK or Detroit or MSP, but for now they just have their thrice daily to Atlanta. But it's at least cool to see the mainline flight in here in the evening. And then finally, here in the terminal we have this United Express E-170. This is operated by Republic, and this is the evening flight in, or the night flight, the overnight stay in from Newark. And this one arrived in about 45 minutes ago. And this one is just sitting here, came in from Newark, and will be heading back out to Newark. So I always like to see United here. They're doing great, actually. United on these Newark flights, they have thrice daily Newark flights, and then twice on the twice daily to Washington Dulles. And it seems like they're hoping that they can turn both of them to mainline, at least for one of the flights, for both destinations to mainline flight here, probably on the 737, either the 700 or the 800, not quite sure. But that's really cool. Hope to see their expansion, or their expansion to mainline there for those routes, or at least for one of the flights in the future. Another news of expansion for United: they will be expanding to Houston Intercontinental in a month in September. Maybe they'll be in the September update, that flight to Houston. So really looking forward to that for United. And so they've been seeing some great passenger numbers, and currently American has the only Texas route to DFW. So United is going to try to beat Southwest to Houston, or Southwest in general to Texas. So we'll be starting service to Houston. Southwest currently only has their Midway, Baltimore, and Nashville, soon to be Nashville, services. But it's not illogical for them to start service to Love Field or Hobby. So I'm guessing they're probably going to start at Love Field relatively soon. That seems the logical next place for Southwest to expand to. United is also providing some competition here for Southwest on their Chicago service. So in 2 months, in October, United will be starting service to Chicago. So, I mean, good on them. They've really been seeing some great numbers lately, and they think they will be good competition to Southwest in the Chicago market. And as Southwest is more of a touristic airline, and as this is more of a touristic airport, you'd think that Southwest would have the advantage there, but United thinks that they will be good competition to Southwest on that route, and I wish them the best of luck on that route. And so that means they'll pretty much have almost half of their hubs No, it is half of their hubs covered here, because they'll have the routes. Well, United has 7 hubs: Newark, Dulles, Houston, Chicago O'Hare, Denver, Los Angeles, LAX, and San Francisco. So that'll mean all of their central to east coast of the United States routes will be covered here at Port St. Lucie. So that's really cool to see, and they're really expanding a lot, and American has expanded a lot. So Delta's kind of the only legacy carrier that has not really done a lot of expanding here. So hopefully they'll be doing that in the future, especially as the airport grows, and more customers start turning to Port St. Lucie for their flights and away from Miami, which is, or at least we're hoping, from West Palm Beach, because that is the closest airport from before this airport opened. That was the closest airport to the Port St. Lucie market. So there was a lot of people going to the Miami airports, and now we're driving them here. So it's something that we're really trying to do, is turn at least the local residents away from Miami, and maybe even attract some from the Miami area and bring them here. So we got the new facilities, at least. So we're working on that, and some new flights will definitely complement that. So we're really looking forward to these new expansions coming here. Speaking of new expansions, there is yet to be an airline to expand to this gate 7. And I don't think I've really talked about Gate 7 too much in any of my other PSL airport updates. You can't really see the whole thing. But this is our largest gate. I mean, it can accommodate the largest aircraft here. And so this one can hold up to a 757, which is quite awesome if we're ever going to get 757 service in the future. But currently no plans for a 757 to serve Port St. Lucie. But if they ever do, they'll probably park here, at least with this current terminal structure. And this is also the only gate here at PSL equipped with customs if it's needed. Currently it's just closed because there are no air conditioners turned off, but there are no international flights here right now, so customs is not being used for anything. But hopefully we can use this to attract an airline. We're looking more towards hopefully attracting Swoop here, as they have plenty of flights from Canada. Touristic, they're the low-cost carrier, pretty popular low-cost carrier in Canada, and they have plenty of flights here in Florida and then also in the Caribbean, and well, all across the South, but mostly here in Florida and the Caribbean, and they also have some in Mexico, I think. But they're one of the big low-cost carriers in Canada. There's also Flair, so we're really looking to attract one of those airlines here, and they'll be parking in this gate here, Gate 7, at least when they start. So maybe that'll be one of our expansions in the future, but for now, no international flights here. But we do have a great presence here of domestic airlines, at least, and we're hoping to also attract maybe JetBlue. There seems to be enough demand to support a Boston flight if JetBlue expands here. Maybe Breeze or Velo too. So maybe one of them will expand here, and then pretty much Gate 7 and Gate 6 are the ones that are most available, because Frontier doesn't fly too often. Like I said, they only have their twice weekly service here from Trenton. So if we do get another airline, they can either use Gate 7 or Gate 6 for most of the time, because Frontier isn't here, and Gate 7 is always open, at least for the time being, and hopefully they're not going to stay always open. And unfortunately, I just got news that the Southwest flight to Baltimore has been canceled, so that means we have a bunch of passengers stranded here, and at this late in the night, that's not really such a good thing, so the airport hotel might be a little bit full tonight. But our final aircraft here, I know I've said multiple times that I wanted to turn this blank space into a GA ramp, and that really hasn't happened because they don't have too many GA aircraft, or really any GA aircraft in 1/400 scale. That'll be a future Shapeways order, but I have other things to focus on before I do that. So unfortunately, this space is probably going to remain empty for a while. But here we just kind of have an allusion to what that'll look like, barely an allusion to what that will look like. But we have a private Cessna 208 Caravan here. And I will say this one just came in from Jacksonville. We'll be staying overnight and then heading out to Destin, Fort Walton Beach tomorrow. So that is all the aircraft in this airport update. So this is kind of a long one. Had a lot to talk about here, and we'll definitely have a lot more to talk about here at Port St. Lucie coming into the future airport updates in September and October, as we'll be seeing a lot more new routes in here, and hopefully some more aircraft or some more airlines will expand here. That is always something that we are hoping for here at PSL, offering more variety to our customers and attracting more people to this area. So with that being said, that'll do it for this August update of Port St. Lucie. Thank you all for checking it out, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.